Boys, what's good? It's Herm, and we're back with a little different topic than usual. Usually I'm breaking down players, looking at teams. Today, putting that degree to use, data science degree. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the new all-in-one statistic that I created for the NBA called CAVDAWS. Made by me, Nate, and we're just going to take a look at it, see how it compares to others, how it's made up, kind of rank some players with it, look at the teams, just some fun stuff, just so you can get an idea of how it works. And if you want to see more data science stuff, just let me know, because I love doing it. But without further ado, let's just get into it. So what does it mean? It means composite average of Vorp, Darko, and adjusted win shares, abbreviated to CAVDAWS. It is an average score for a player built up of three of my favorite player stats, which would be Vorp, Darko, and win shares. Vorp being value over replacement player. As far as I've seen, it's the best stat for predicting game outcome. I've been predicting games for 2 or 3 years now, and just year after year, it's the most reliable one. It's the most accurate in terms of predictive analysis. And the stat being based on value versus replacement makes it easy to adjust for injuries. It's a cumulative stat, meaning that it grows as the season goes along. So you're going to have different values for it, obviously, in November than you are in February. So that's a key piece of it. But it has too much favor on winning, at least in my opinion, because Luke Kornet, a backup big for the Celtics, who were good last year, rates out higher than Devin Booker. I don't think Luke Kornet is a more impactful player than Devin Booker, and I don't think it's a hot take to say that. So that's something that one of the things I'm trying to get here by combining them is to kind of weed out the weaknesses and bring together the strengths. Then we move into daily adjusted and regressed Kalman optimized projections, which is Darko. I would say, at least in NBA circles, it's kind of viewed as the best all-in-one statistic. It is self-described by its creators as forward-looking instead of backward-looking. So because of that, it's non-cumulative over the course of a season. So it's not going to be much different of a score for a player that's been in the league a while in November than it is in February, because it's kind of an idea of how good that player is right now. It's not value being added over the course of a season. It's a projection system that is similar to baseball's Steamer or Zips, which I like when predicting baseball game outcomes, and one of the few public computer-driven NBA box score projection systems. It's a gradient-boosted decision tree, which is kind of data science jargon. But in my opinion, it's really, really harsh on young players, and it can take a while to catch up and has some oddities, like Josh Okogie, currently being listed as the Hornets' best player. I know he went to the Rockets in free agency, but if you look on Darko right now, darko.app, the Hornets ranking of players currently lists is Josh Okogie, Yusuf Nurkic, and then LaMelo Ball, which is just crazy to me. So if a player's been in the league a while, they've been a solid, good role rotation player, and their production is dipping, it can take a while to catch up to that, which is the benefit of one like a cumulative stat like the other two, which is the interesting part of combining them together. Then thirdly, we look at win shares, which is designed to give each player a portion of a team's win added up over the course of the season. So like Vorp, it is a cumulative stat. It has the best players towards the top, usually. It's all right with that, and takes into account both offense and defense, but it also seems to be way too rebounds and blocks heavy. They're just weighted too strong. There's 7 centers in the top 11 players, which is just not what I want either. So we're going to combine the three of them using a formula I have here. If I get myself out of the way, we'll put me over here. So the formula, it is going to be Vorp plus Darko, and then it is adjusted win shares, like I was saying. So win shares, a third of that, and then once you have all that combined, you divide that by 3. So let's take a look at how that kind of stacks it up, what we're going to be looking at here. And if I can get this presentation to move. Sorry, we went a little too far there. Okay, there we are. So, taking a look at that, let's look at the top 10 players with the other stats, the ones I just talked about: Vorp, win shares, and Darko. So with Vorp, I think it's probably the best top 10 of the group here. I would say 8 of the players are definitely top 10 guys, with James Harden and Domantas Sabonis being the only two who I'd say probably aren't top 10. I don't have a huge problem with James Harden being there after the season he had with the Clippers last year. He was super huge for them with Kawhi being out and really kept them afloat. So I don't hate that one. But one of the biggest reasons for me doing this is to get guys like Domantas Sabonis and Josh Hart, who advanced stats love, but are just not as valuable as they say, out of the top 10, which I did succeed in doing, but we'll get to that in a second. So win shares has Shea and Jokic as the top 2, which is fine. I think Jokic should be first, but Giannis all the way down at 5, which is not great. And like I said, very heavy on rebounds and blocks. Zubac at 3, Jared Allen at 4, and then we have Rudy, Cat, and Sabonis all in the top 10 as well. It's not a good top 10 list, and I think we can do better. For Darko, also pretty solid. It does not quite catch up with injuries. Like I was saying, Kawhi Leonard at this point with the injury risk, I don't think is a top 10 guy. Victor Wembanyama, I think, was trending towards top 10 before being injured last season. Right now, I wouldn't put him there. And then also it has James Harden. And then we move here to the league's top 10 players according to my stat, CAVDAWS, which has Jokic as the top player in the league, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at number 2, Giannis at number 3, and a couple guys who are going to miss next season who are injured, Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton rounding out the top 5. After what Halliburton just did, I have no problem with that. Luka Doncic at 6, Steph Curry at 7, Ant at 8, James Harden at 9, and Donovan Mitchell at 10. With the Cavs' success, I do think Donovan Mitchell's a top 10 player, so the only one who I think you could make qualms with is maybe a not top 10 guy would be James Harden. Maybe you get LeBron in here instead. But like I said, James Harden was super valuable last year for the Clippers, and I don't really have a problem with him being in the top 10. Then we move to the top teams for 2026 based off of it. Really solid in the West. Thunder, Clippers, Rockets, and Nuggets. I would say those are the consensus top 4 teams in the West right now. But like Darko, this one does take a little while to catch up. I think the ratings for guys like Chris Paul, Brook Lopez are still a little too high, which has the Clippers higher than I would have them. I think they should probably be behind the Rockets and Nuggets, but it's a good top 4. And then in the East, you have the Cavs, the Knicks, the Orlando Magic at 3, and the Celtics at number 4. And then still continuing to look at this and how it would be accurate with the consensus, the All-NBA teams based off of CAVDAWS for last season would have correctly guessed 14 out of the 15 players, just swapping Ivica Zubac with Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham was the only player missed. Vorp got 11 of the 15 guys, adding in Sabonis, Şengün, Jared Allen, and Derek White. Win shares got less than half, only 7 of the guys, with Zubac, Allen, Gobert, Sabonis, Jalen Duren, Josh Hart, Peyton Pritchard, and Derek White added in there. And then Darko got 12 out of the 15, adding in Gobert, Zubac, and Kyrie. So I really like it. I mean, I think that it's very accurate towards the consensus rather than these other ones that have some random guys thrown in. And like I said, did successfully get Sabonis out of this group. Was not listed in my top 15, which is a win for me in terms of this statistic. We move on to the league's worst rotation players, according to the stat, which has Bub Carrington as the current worst heavy usage, heavy minute guy in the league right now. Kyle Kuzma, Isaiah Collier, Alex Sarr, Bilal, Bruce Brown, Keontae George, Ryan Dunn, Keyshawn George, and Grady Dick. Bruce Brown, I think, will get much better as the season goes along, being back with Nikola Jokic. This one as well is a little harsh on young guys. I don't think Bub Carrington's a horrible player, and I think he's going to turn it around. But the Wizards were bad last year, and he had the ball in his hands a lot. So it makes sense to me why he'd be this high, and I don't have a problem with this part either. I think as far as the league goes right now, the Wizards are just going to have a lot of those guys. We move towards the top young stars based off the stat. Anthony Edwards ranks as number 1 in the league right now. Evan Mobley, Wemby, J-Dub, Şengün, Amen Thompson at 6, Tyler Hero, Garland, Cade, and Franz Wagner. I'd say one of the weaknesses I've seen in the statistics so far, I think it's a little harsh on Cade Cunningham. It didn't have him listed in All-NBA. It has him as the 9th best 25 and under guy in the league. I would probably have Cade, maybe 4 or 5 here. But each system is going to have its flaws a little bit, and I would say Cade is the weakest point right now. But we move to the top point guards in the league. That would be Shea, Luka, Steph, James Harden, Jalen Brunson, Derek White, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Peyton Pritchard, and then, like I said, Cade Cunningham at 10. It does bring some of the weaknesses from the other systems in. Like I was saying, winning is very impactful here, as Peyton Pritchard is a top 10 guy, ahead of a guy like Cade Cunningham. But still, I think it's a kind of more sound and stable list than what the other stats would produce. Top shooting guards, we have Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell, Amen Thompson, Desmond Bane, Austin Reeves, Christian Brown, Norman Powell, Keon Dyson, and Lou Dort. I didn't really realize until I was putting this together, but the shooting guards in the league right now, it's kind of a weak group. But we move small forwards, LeBron at number 1. Then we get J-Dub already at his young age at number 2. Jimmy, Kawhi, Josh Hart still valued a little higher than I would like him to be. But that's okay. Kevin Durant, Franz Wagner, Denny Avdia, Jaylen Brown, and Michael Porter Jr. At the power forwards, we got Giannis at 1, Evan Mobley, AD, Siakam, Adebayo, Triple J, OG Anunoby, Tari Eason, Aaron Gordon, and Draymond Green. And then with the centers, I would say another weakness for the stat right now is that Zubats is ranked really, really high, but that's fine too. I think he should have been All-NBA last season. I was one of those arguing for that. I think he had a real case at that. Didn't end up getting it, but his level of production last year for the Clippers was insane. I thought he took a real step forward and was better than any point in his career besides that. I don't think he's the second best center in the league, but he was really impactful last year. Jokic at 1 though, Cat at 3, Jared Allen at 4, Vic at number 5, Rudy at 6, Domantas Sabonis at 7, again a huge win for this stat, and then we have Şengün, Porzingis, and Jalen Duren. If you want to access the stat, it is reachable at nba-predictions-dashboard.streamlit.app. It is a dashboard that was built on Streamlit, so that's where it's being hosted right now, built by me. It has game predictions using CAVDAWS, as well as the individual pieces we talked about, like Vorp, win shares, and Darko. You can see the top teams with each statistic, as well as the players. If you want more info on the stat, if you want to start using the stat, let me know. I'd be happy to talk with you about it, but hey, hopefully you boys enjoyed the vid. It's a little different than usual, but I just wanted to take a crack at grading some players, and I think the top 10 kind of speaks for itself. I did this last summer too, and I thought that the top 10 was just easily better than the others, which was great for me. But Jokic, Shea, Giannis, I think is the right order. Tatum's a top 5 guy. Halliburton was like that. Luka missed some time last season, otherwise he'd be higher. Steph, Ant, James Harden, and Donovan Mitchell. I just think it's better than the other top 10s that are accessible right now. I think it does a better job at really kind of grasping all together who are the most impactful guys in the league right now. But let me know your thoughts. Hopefully you boys enjoyed the vid. Think about subscribing. But you boys have a good one. We'll be back with some more player breakdowns soon. I'm thinking of doing a Nick Clifford vid in the next couple days. But thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.